I'm glad that happened because I knew to check my bread after to make sure it wasn't moldy.
That's just how he sat down. He was like, check your bread. Bread's good. All
yeah.
right.
I mean, I was also disappointed in what happened. They were like, the man came up and said, look at this. And they were like, okay, took it.
Threw it out
and said, it'll be 5 minutes.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. You're going to get a new one in 5 minutes.
Not even I'm sorry.
No, yeah. No apology. No, like, oh my God. No one was shocked. It was like, well, it's Friday. Bread comes in Monday. Sometimes it's bad by today. Wait 5 minutes. What if this guy's on a quick lunch break? He's working in the mall. He's going to eat something real quick in the mall. Grabs his food. Takes a bite. Sees it's moldy. No apology. 5 minutes wasted. Time is precious. Time is money. I'm sure the Colonel knew that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he made surprise visits all across North America, just to pop in and say, this is slop, and throw it on the floor.
I wonder if he found any place like would live up to his code.
His standards?
His standards.
Well, no, I mean, probably not. And that's why he had to open that other restaurant with his
that's
wife.
what you were talking about. It's kind of sad in the last, 15 years of his life, he just started denouncing all the KFCs as just an abomination.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't see the exact year here, but Sanders and his wife reopened the Shelbyville restaurant of KFC. I guess it shut down. Or no, it was his. He took off the KFC branding and reopened it as Claudia Sanders and the Colonel's... Claudia Sanders, the Colonel's Lady. Okay. That was the name of the restaurant. And they served KFC-style chicken, part of a full-service diner menu. And they talked about expanding the chain. I don't think they did. And now the Colonel's Lady is still running as a diner, and it's the only other place that they can serve the Colonel's original recipe chicken.
So you think it's the only one that the Colonel would vouch for?
I believe so. Classy diner-style restaurant that serves his proper recipe and not that wallpaper paste.
Not his face on a bucket spinning outside of...
Spinning outside, yeah, exactly. He's spinning in his grave, just like that bucket spinning above most of the restaurants.
If you listen on a lonely night, you can just hear... They do squeak.
That was a good squeak, Matthew. I really like that squeak.
They do squeak quite a bit.
Now, Matthew, after we ate, we were in a mall.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do when you're in the mall? You gotta shop around. You wander around. You see what the mall's got.
Yeah.
We wandered into a pet shop.
Yeah, Pet Safari.
Safari.
It's almost like you can't even be mad at people for going into this place and not buying a pet because it looks like you're walking into a little zoo.
Yeah, it's very inviting.
Oh.
We walked in. Within a couple minutes, someone came up to us asking if they could help us, and we were really just treating it like a little zoo.
Yeah.
I was looking. But mind you, it was nice to have all the prices printed. Yeah. So I was like, a chameleon, $109. Maybe I'll finally buy a chameleon. I kind of wanted one when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, $109, that's not that bad.
That's a pair of shoes.
That's some of my pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
And then, but far more responsibility. And then I walked around to see, because I'd noticed earlier, a chameleon kit. It was branded as.
Oh, yes.
I was like, well, okay, let's see how much the chameleon kit is. Maybe I'm just going to walk out of here with a chameleon today. No. The chameleon kit was like $230.
It's more than the chameleon.
You could buy 2 chameleons and have change. But then, well, what? I got to buy crickets now? I'm always buying crickets to feed the chameleon. My chameleon's going to die. Unless I get crickets delivered to my door, I'm not going to remember to buy crickets all the time.
There's probably a service for that. You're getting food delivered to your door. You could probably get crickets.
That's the only reason I'm not dying, Matthews, because food gets delivered to my door and I do this podcast. If no one's delivering, if there's no a good cricket box that can be delivered to my door, this chameleon's not going to make it.
Oh, man. Oh, maybe you'd develop a sense of responsibility. But
I suppose. But, I mean, at the same time, do I really want a chameleon? I stood there and watched it for a couple minutes.
Didn't do much, eh?
Didn't move a muscle.
No. Well, you and I spent an hour watching a chameleon once, and it did very little.
Did very little.
I guess not much has changed in the chameleon world.
Well, I don't know. I saw that movie, what was that movie?
Rango?
Yeah. Rango, where Johnny Depp played a chameleon.
Filling all the blanks here.
Thank you, Matthew. It's Mad Libs. And that was a far more active chameleon than anyone I've seen in real life.
Yeah. It's a cartoon.
Another cartoon.
Chameleon.
I don't know. It looked real to me.
One of the now I'm very confused about how you see the world. But you were really getting into maybe almost buying some fish.
Well, I've considered before buying some fish and maybe getting a fish tank just because they look good. And this lady came back to speak to us a bit because we were looking at some of the fish tanks. So it was just like, oh, that's not that expensive a fish tank. It was just kind of looking just out of curiosity, just window shopping, if you will. And then she just talked to us for the next 10 minutes about different fish tanks and the
very knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable. She was terrific.
And I'll tell you, fish tanks have changed a lot since I was a kid. There have been a lot of improvements, a lot of
different lights with a remote. You could change it to a black light, make things glow, make your fish glow.
Curved.
There's
aquariums,
so that it magnifies the whole thing and makes your fish look bigger and makes the whole experience a little more interesting. There's like sort of edgeless aquariums, which just looks like a whole glass box. It looks kind of wonderful and amazing.
Yeah.
And then
Blacklit.
backlit and blacklit and
backlit, blacklit, everything.
All kinds of lits.
I didn't even believe that little mushroom was, because there was some fluorescent glowing there, and I was like, we were a little. I don't think we believed her 100% that mushroom inside was the same as the mushroom beside it because it wasn't glowing the same. Mm-hmm. But she assured us.
Yes,
she proved it.
And then, she turned off the light to be like, look, looks the exact same as the one in your hand. And you're like, oh, I guess so.
I was impressed with us.
How so?
Because it really looked like we might have bought something.
It's true. You know what? It was weird because I had no intention of really buying anything. I thought about the chameleon for a bit, but then I got priced out of it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then she just kept trying to sell us on it, so I was like, I guess I can go play the game. As soon as she walks away, we're going to leave, but... or I'm going to walk away from her is really what I did. I just sort of wandered away to look at more products and hope that she'd wander away as well. And then we left. But before we left, she sort of cut herself off and told us, like warned someone, don't look in there. And there was like a whole bus.
Yeah, well, a family walked by and was trying to look
into the bus.
Yeah.
And this bus had blacked out windows. And I didn't read the sign on it. I just didn't think that much of it. I thought it was part of the decoration of this safari place.
Yeah, because it was like a safari bus.
Yeah, a safari bus, like a small safari bus. I don't know. It was
it
like
looked
a
like
tan
something
bus.
that had crashed, and they just
exactly.
Bus.
And then she took off some sort of like wrist guard thing she had to show us all the scars on her arms, and said, "Well, this, he gave them to me," and I'm all confused now. I don't know what she's talking about. She's like, "Well, there's the iguana in there. That's why we had to black out the windows." But there's an iguana in the bus. Yeah. How big is he? 5 feet. That's crazy. And then I read the sign. It's as if the iguana wrote it. It's mating season. I'm very agitated. Don't look at me, please.
Don't look at me. And very agitated just means...
There's a horny iguana in a bus. Don't look at me, or else I'll try to f*** you.
If this bus is rocking,
please come and knocking, because I'm a horny iguana.
She did say that it charged the door a few times. Like sometimes you can just hear it charge into the door.
A 5-foot iguana trying to escape a bus with its blacked out windows. This is so terrifying.
I thought she was joking. I thought it was just one of those it's like, oh yeah, haha. And she's like, that's how I got all my scars. And I'm like, I still think you're joking, but I don't know where you got these scars from.
Either your pet cat or this 5-foot goddamn iguana that's apparently in there.
Yeah, I thought it was just a gimmick, like the blacked out windows, because it's like, if you have a sign on a bus with blacked out windows, and the windows aren't blacked out. The windows have like black paper on the inside that don't completely cover the edges.
You can see little cracks
inside a little bit, and it says, "Don't look at me." I'm going to try to look at you.
That's the most tempting thing.
Yeah, I want you to distract her. Like while she was distracted, I tried to look inside, and I saw that there was like some hay on the ground.
Just threw my keys across the room just to see if we could distract her for a second.
But that's terrifying. That door's locked. If it wasn't locked, I would be very tempted just to open it up and see the chaos that would ensue.
You noticed that it was locked. That's concerning to me that you were ready to just open it up and run away.
I was like, maybe I get a peek in there. I want to see what damage this 5-foot horny iguana. Or what was it, an iguana?
Yeah. She said it was a 5-foot iguana.
It's like a Komodo dragon.
Exactly. Imagine this little thing got out, took some man's child, and had its way with it.
Why even have it?
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. There's a 5-foot iguana that they can't sell. I've been in that mall many times and wandered through that pet shop, and that bus is always there. So why does this place in a mall have a 5-foot iguana with a living in a bus for years on end that no one could look at because it's too horny?
Yeah.
It's weird, Matthew.
It's pretty weird.
You know, this iguana wants to go to bed with someone or something.
Just looking for
Probably
love.
another iguana. Just looking for love.
Yeah. At this point, I think you'd settle with anything.
So now, speaking of going to bed, Matthew.
Yeah.
We wandered through the Sears. Well, okay, hold on. Just as a side note before we get there. I'm pretty convinced that the saleswoman at the Safari store thought we were a gay couple.
Oh, for sure she did.
Yeah.
We were so polite, too.
We didn't want to correct her. It didn't matter. And we were talking about fish and different tanks and looking at them. And she's like, when you take this back to your house, just assuming that we live together, I guess.
She did
I don't
say
know.
that. You were giving the fish personalities, too. You were like, oh, this one hates its life. This one,
well, she was talking about a beta fish, and these beta fish, you put 2 in a tank and they're going to fight.
Yeah.
And so this one, she said he's very aggressive because he sees his reflection all the time. I was like, oh, deep down inside, he really hates himself because he sees that reflection. He's like, oh, I want to kill that fish.
Yeah, she chuckled a bit.
Yeah,
she definitely thought.
But then I felt like she didn't get the joke at the same time. She was like, that's because he thinks it's another fish. I'm like, that's what I know. I know exactly. That was the joke. That's what the joke hinged on later. Yeah. So yeah, speaking of going to bed together, we went to Sears afterwards, and we were shopping for pillows for a good 40 minutes.
Yes,
we were just trying out different pillows. We saw there was a 60% off pillow sale, and we just lied on the demo beds.
That's how you get Sebastian into bed. Really, that's how you get both of us into bed.
Yeah, exactly.
60% off pillows were sold.
And we tried out probably a dozen different pillows.
I'd say pretty much all the pillows, except every now and then we'd find a pillow that we knew was not worth our time, so we didn't even bother.
Yeah, it's true. Well, no, I would still bother if there were, because sometimes they'd have two pillows in a bag for like $8.
Yeah,
it's like $8, 2 pillows. How can you go wrong? Yeah. These aren't great, but if you stack them, I lied down on it. Not bad.
Yeah.
The thing is, like maybe the 3rd or 4th pillow we tried was this luxury pillow.
Yeah, the luxury Field Crest luxury.
Field Crest luxury.
Extra firm.
I got extra firm. Matthew's
I got regular firm.
Guy. And we tried out so many pillows on so many different beds.
Well, we took our own beds at one point because there were so many pillows we had to try out. We couldn't. We just kept. You were like, "Toss me that pillow." It was like, "Yeah, here, give me the." Give me the luxury again.
Oh, I was very charmed by the OBUS foam.
Oh, you love the OBUS.
The OBUS form. OBUS form. We were going back and forth with that OBUS for a while. It was such a massive pillow.
I thought I only tried it out to see what the novelty of it was like because it was a neck breaker.
It was maybe for you. I thought it was thick enough that it would when you're lying down, it needs to go from your whole shoulder to the edge of your shoulder to your head, so that your head is straight if you're lying on your side. I'm a side sleeper.
Yeah.
So I need a pretty thick pillow or 2 normal pillows stacked. This OBUS form, I was big on the OBUS.
You were.
But not as comfortable as a second pillow under that Field Crest luxury.
Yeah, I really thought you were going for the OBUS. I thought it was ridiculous because it was huge. It seemed like someone tried to shove 3 pillows into one pillowcase. It was clearly the king of all pillows. It
was the OBUS. Actually, I noticed after trying the OBUS and really becoming a little infatuated with the OBUS that every a sign for these 60% off pillows prominently featured an OBUS.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know that the OBUS is the shit.
The OBUS rules in pillow land.
But yes, we tried dozens of pillows.
Yeah.
And really only the ones that were on sale. Well, we tried ones that weren't on sale just for comparison's sake.
Yeah.
There was one that was like $160. There was one that was nearly $200.
Yeah.
We're not in that kind of market. We're in like the $20 range for pillows.
Yeah. There were a few comments too. A lot of people passed because we were really taking up beds.
Yeah, well, like at some point we were 2 people taking up 3 beds just to try out pillows.
One bed was just all of the maybe pillows.
All the maybe pillows. Yeah. Yeah, we got a few comments from passersby going like, "Oh, don't fall asleep there now."
We got a few people also trying out the pillows too. They were like,